So we have a House that's getting ready to finalize an immigration package that they're going to brief me on later, and that I'm going to make changes to. We have one chance to get it right. We might as well get it right, or let's just keep it going, but let's do it right. We have a chance. We want to solve this problem. We want to solve family separation. I don't want children taken away from parents. And when you prosecute the parents for coming in illegally, which should happen, you have to take the children away. Now, we don't have to prosecute them, but then we're not prosecuting them for coming in illegally. That's not good. We want to end the border crisis by finally giving us the legal authorities and the resources to detain and remove illegal immigrant families altogether and bring them back to their country. We have to bring them back to their country. And it got so crazy that all of these thousands, we now have thousands of judges, border judges, thousands and thousands. And by the way, when we release the people, they never come back to the judge anyway. They're gone. They're in your system. That's it. If they're good, that's great. And if they're bad, you'll have killings, you'll have murders, you'll have this, you'll have that, you'll have crime. You'll have crime. And remember, these countries that we give tremendous foreign aid to in many cases, they send these people up, and they're not sending their finest. Does that sound familiar? Remember I made that speech and I was badly criticized? Oh, what's so terrible what he said. Turned out I was 100% right. That's why I got elected. Under current law, we have only two policy options to respond to this massive crisis. We can either release all illegal immigrant families and minors who show up at the border from Central America, or we can arrest the adults for the federal crime of illegal entry. Those are the only two options: totally open borders or criminal prosecution for lawbreaking. And you want to be able to do that. We don't want people pouring into our country. We want them to come in through the process, through the legal system, and we want ultimately a merit-based system where people come in based on merit. Maybe the one that makes me happiest is this. Because I remember I'd go around, I'd say, what do you have to lose? Vote for me. The Democrats have always been with you. Vote for me. They've, bad education, the most unsafe parts of the country, all of these different, I'd say to the African Americans, I'd say, what you have to do, what do you have to do? Vote for me. What do you have to lose? Unemployment for African Americans is at the lowest level in history. It's like, what do you have to lose? I would go around and talk, and some people would say, don't say that, it's not nice. I'd say, look, it's true. So badly treated, and now the lowest level of unemployment in history for African Americans, and for Hispanic, the lowest level of unemployment in history, and for women, the lowest level of unemployment in 21 years. Soon it will be. I can build a beautiful plant for a lot less than $350 million. So when I heard billion, I said, no, you mean 350 million, right? They said, no. Think of what that is. I think of the total amount, they're bringing back about 230 billion, and the rest they're putting in. Tremendous investment in our country. And ExxonMobil is doing the same thing, and so many other countries are doing the same thing, different numbers. It's incredible what's happened. I still say, however, expensing, 1 year, expensing will be the star of what we're doing. We exempted more small business owners from the alternative minimum tax which you know very well was an enormous waste of your precious time and your very hard-earned money. That was a disastrous tax. And from now on, most small business owners will be spared from the deeply unfair estate tax that I talked about. And I'm so proud of that, because you're all keeping your businesses. The family, the farms, you're keeping your businesses. As a result of all of these taxes and all of these tax cuts, American businesses now are on a level playing field with your competitors from other countries who have so many advantages, including subsidy by governments. You see what's happening with China. We have no choice. This should have been done many years ago. We have no choice. China has been taking out $500 billion a year out of our country and rebuilding China. I always say we have rebuilt China. They've taken so much. It's time, folks. It's time. So we're going to get smart, and we're going to do it right, and we're actually getting a lot of support, but we have to do something about it. Now, maybe something happens where they come and they say, we agree it's been unfair for the last 25 years, but somehow that doesn't seem to work so easily. But we're going to make it fair. We're going to make it fair with other countries, both our friends and our enemies. And I have to say this, in many cases, our friends on trade have treated us much worse than our enemies. The United States has just surpassed Germany as having the most asylum seekers of any nation on earth. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine? And Germany, we talk about Germany, they allowed millions of people in. And by the way, their crime from the time they started is up more than 10%, and that's one of the reasons it's at that level, is because they don't like reporting that kind of crime, so they put it down as different kind of crime. But their crime is up more than 10% since they started taking them in. I heard somebody said that crooked Hillary Clinton was questioning that statistic. She said, it's not true, it's not true. Didn't she already have her chance? I mean, Democrats love open borders. Let the whole world come in. Let the whole world, MS-13 gang members from all over the place.
Oh, come on, don't be so silly. Talk facts, will you?
Come on in. We have open borders. And they view that, possibly intelligently, except that it's destroying our country. They view that as potential voters. Someday, they're going to vote for Democrats. Because they can't win on their policies, which are horrible. They found that out in the last presidential election. In fact, their only policy was that Donald Trump is a bad guy, he's a bad person, vote against Trump. And they said it so many, there's hundreds of millions of dollars of negative ads. Nobody's ever been hit like that. I used to go home, I started disliking myself. It's true. I said, man, am I that bad?